Hello there, and welcome back for another lesson video. If you turn to the next blank page in your book, and we're going to be working with this memory piece, it is the letter F, because today we are looking at a skill called greatest common factor. Sorry, that's a title that needs to be capitalized. And you do have a flashcard for this one also. Let me go ahead and draw that down here. That's probably not big enough. Let me make it a little bigger. There we go. So let's do the flashcard for greatest common factor. Let's define this term. I'm sorry, guys. I can't get it going this morning. The greatest common factor. And very often in a math book, that will be abbreviated as GCF, greatest common factor. And the greatest common factor is the biggest factor that two or more numbers have in common. Greatest common factor. The biggest factor that two or more numbers have in common. So to show you how this works, I chose the letter F for factors. Remember, I showed you the factor fingers, and these almost look like fingers. Okay, so that's another reason I like this letter F. So what you'll need to do is to cut out this piece, this yellow and blue piece. You're going to put your glue on the back of the blue part. So turn that blue part over, put the glue on the back, and stick it down where you want it to be, so that the yellow F lifts up and lays down. You can raise that up. Now I'm trying to get a mental image into your mind so that when you see factor, you think of this F and what we're going to write under there. So the first thing, once you glue it down, the first thing I want you to do is trace around the F, just around the edge of the F with your pencil. So you're making the outline of that F with your pencil, just like that. And then I want you to lift up the yellow part, raise up the door so that you're looking at something like this that you can write on. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put the directions right down here. So I want to know the greatest common factor for 48 and 36. So this is the problem, if you want to think of it that way, that we're trying to solve. We're going to put that down in the stem, in the base of the F. So I'm going to list my factors for 48 right here. So I have 1 times 48, 2 times 24, 3 times 16, 4 times 12, and 6 times 8. So you have your factors for 48 running out that row. Then down here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the factors of 36. So I have 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9, and 6 times 6. So I've put the factors of 48, the factors of 36. Notice they're separated. They're following the shape of that F. And then we're going to look for common factors. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to circle all of the common factors. They both have 1s. They both have 2s. They both have 3s. They both have 4s. They both have 6s. And that's all. So I've just marked off the common ones. You can even highlight those if you want to. Just color in the common factors. And when I say common, I mean that both composite numbers have those digits in their factors. So those are the common factors. Of those that I've circled, what's the largest? The greatest common factor for 48 and 36 is 6. Okay, that's called finding the GCF, finding the common factors, and then the greatest of those common factors. Again, that memory piece is to help you visualize the steps that you need to do. You can practice this. You can quiz yourself on it. Let's go ahead actually right here on top of the blue and write the problem that we solved. That would be to find the greatest common factor for 48 and 36. So maybe a week before your test, as you're flipping through looking at your memory pieces, see if you can solve that problem. And if you need help solving that problem, you just lift up that door and the explanation is under there. Okay, I want to do a few more practices with you just to let you really get that skill nailed down. So wherever you have space, let's do a few more of these. Let's do the greatest common factor for 15 and 9. Now, if you want to sketch the F, that's fine. I'm not going to take the time to do that. I wish I had. Actually, I might be able to do it this way. Bear with me just a second. Let me see if I can just copy that. Maybe. And paste it. Oh yeah, this will work. So I can use the F. You don't have to draw this. I'm just using this because that's the way I showed you to remember it. So picture this F for factor in your mind. And this time we are going to do different numbers, but the process is the same. So I'm going to put the 15 up here. And I like to put a box around my composite. You don't have to, but so we have 1 times 15 and 3 times 5. And that's all for that one. Then let's put the 9. So we have 1 times 9 and 3 times 3. And then you will circle your common factors. They both have a 1. That will always be true. And then they both have a 3. So those are the factors that they share, the common factors. So of those, the greatest common factor is 3. And you might be thinking, well, so what? Why do I care what the greatest common factor is? That's coming up soon. I'm going to show you in the workbook why that skill is important. Okay, let's do another one or two. This time I'm going to do, let me think of a good one. Let's do the greatest common factor of 25 and 10. 25 and 10. So I'm going to do a 25 here. Doesn't matter, you can do either one. And we'll put the 10 down here and find that greatest common factor. So 1 times 25 and 5 times 5. Let's do 1 times 10 and 2 times 5. So circle the commons. The 1 will always be in any number. It doesn't matter what the number is. But the 5 is also in there as a common factor. So of those two, the 1 and the 5, the greater one is the 5. Okay. And let me squeeze one more in here, if possible. Let's do a big one. So let me pull this in. The F just keeps me straight, helps me remember the process a little bit better. If you don't like the F, that's fine. Don't use it. It's just for those who think it helps. This time I want to do 25 and 100. So let's list the factors of 25. 1 times 25 and 5 times 5. Then the factors for 100 would be 1 times 100, 2 times 50, 4 times 25, 5 times 20, and 10 times 10. As those composites get bigger, you'll get more factors usually. Not always, but usually. So this one I have a 1 that matches. I have a 5 that matches. And a 25 that matches. So of those common factors, which is the largest? The greatest common factor of 25 and 100 is 25. So in the workbook page that's coming, we will be practicing this skill. And hopefully that little example gives you something to fall back on as we go through the workbook practice. So I'll see you in the next video clip for that exercise. I believe it's number 33, but I'm not positive. But we'll check it out, and I'll see you soon. Have a good day.